Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Metroid Prime. In the last episode, we gathered the X-ray visor. Look at that. We gathered the grapple beam, which I can't show off because there's nothing to grapple around here, and before that, we gathered the power bombs. So now it's time to do what Metroid Prime was made for, which is, now we've got these things, let's see what we can do with them. So we're going to start off by actually going through this door here. We've never actually been through it, but it doesn't go anywhere particularly exciting. Well, as in, nowhere new. It takes us to a room we've already visited on a number of occasions. The furnace! Which is, inexplicably, has Chozo ghosts in it. There was a pirate data, I believe, that said that Chozo ghosts are only linked to Chozo's spiritual sites. And generally that's true, stuff like the Sun Chamber and the Hall of the Elders and stuff like that. Then they show up in the bloody furnace, which I don't, for 1 second, believe is spiritually linked to the Chozo. But hey. We scanned them a while back, but there are these plated parasites here crawling around. They can only be killed by morph ball weapons, so don't bother even trying now. And if we come over here, we will see Bendesium portion of the floor is weak here. We know what that means, but this is pretty cool. The whole damn floor gives way, revealing a half pipe. And one of the more annoying portions in the game. It's definitely, I would say, the second most annoying spider ball section in the game. And if I manage to do everything right, we're going to do the first most annoying spider ball the first most annoying spider ball maze in the game. We will be doing this episode as well, so that's going to be hilarious fun. I have no idea how long this episode is going to last, because it's one of those ones where I'm just gathering stuff, so it'll just take as long as it takes, I guess. I've got a point I want to get to, and I'm just going to go till that point, no matter how long that takes. I think I just said the same thing twice there. Watch your shadow here to make sure when you drop off you're onto this pipe, because this pipe is not a spider ball rail. This is just steady thumbs. The trick here is watch kind of how the parasites are moving and either time your movements with them or even better, time your morph ball bombs, because the chances are you will probably screw this up and have to take another shot at it, and so it's easier if there are fewer parasites in the way. You can just see your shadow there, but that one is very easy to kind of fall off, so you just got to watch the way they move. So it kind of comes over there, so it's that little section. Let's just bomb that, rather than trying to work out the timing past it. And let's go there. And up onto there. And I think that's us done. Hey, that was actually relatively straightforward. Missile expansion. It's going to be a lot of missile expansions this episode. Anyway, lettuce. I was going to say let us go over here, but apparently I said lettuce. Right, we need to go up here and through this kind of morph ball hole. And we're going to proceed back kind of through the ruins to the watery hall. Now, what we want here is, actually, I mentioned the various power-ups we'd be using this episode, and I did not mention this one amongst it. Gravity suit! Because if we come into the underwater bit here, we would have been able to make this double jump up there if we hadn't had the gravity suit. Another missile expansion. Now, let's head over to the ruined fountain. Now, if you look here at the map, you'll actually see over there is a blue room. That's a room we've never been to. There's nothing stopping us from going in there. There's just not much we can do. And as ever, I don't show off a place unless there's something we can actually do there. So if we head through here, we enter the meditation pool, I think this is called, or something like that. And then we head through to the magma pool, which looks really out of place in Chozo ruins. I'm not sure what happens if you come into this room without the various suits. I think you're all right. But you can't really get across it without the grapple beam. What? It didn't let me... Bloody, there we go. Didn't let me grapple out of this stupid thing. Now here's something cool. If we fire up the X-ray visor here, you can see through the wall. We can see a thing down there and a Chozo lore puddle on the wall. So that means the wall is breakable. If we scan the wall, surprise, surprise, Bendesium! Make sure you got a lot of power bombs if you're following along this episode, because we'll be using them a lot. But speaking of a lot of power bombs, got our first power bomb expansion. There's only 4 of them in the game for a total of 8 power bombs that you can have. But, somewhat more significantly, is this. Our final Chozo lore entitled Shining One. The power of our temple and the 12 artifacts is sealed in evil in the depths of this planet. However, the future is cloudy to us, a world of veils where dark apparitions flit in the shadows. Within this strange world, one image stands out amongst the mist, flickering like through the landscape, wraith-like. It is a human, a lone figure, shining in the toxic shadows. We Chozo do not know what it is, but our hearts swell with the hope of the promise of that glowing light. We will place our faith in this shrine. We will be there when the light shines upon our land. And that's kind of important as the kind of final one, that's them kind of seeing Samus, though weirdly enough they don't connect it with the Prophecy of Light, which is slightly odd, because that's the whole prophecy that's of the Entrusted One and that kind of thing. Anyway, we've got a whole new room here. And it's got Chozo ghosts in it. Yay! Chozo ghosts. Everyone's favourite. So I'm just going to kill them off camera. So with the Chozo ghosts defeated, those two kind of statues both open up. And I will show you what's with them in actually just a second. We actually did miss something briefly. If we go back into this one briefly, it's a very easy one to miss. Morph Ball! Tunnel through there. Hidden. Missile expansion. Words, very short. Sentences, not fully formed. But yeah, just briefly one. Let's hope the Chozo ghosts don't come back. That'll be really shitey. That's exactly the kind of shit this game would pull. Now we're alright. And, oh, Powerbomb, not Powerbomb expansion, Powerbomb ammo. That's nice. Anyway, what we want to do now is, I believe, use that one? Yeah, that was the right one. Spider Ball rail reveals, piston moves. Now this is relatively easy in terms of the timing. You just need to... Why is it not moving? Come on, man. There we go. There we go. Oh, my analog stick just kind of freaked out. Maybe my remote's low on batteries. Anyway, we can now come through there, hop through here. Hey! Energy tank! I believe I was talking about this last episode of getting near the final energy tank of the game. I believe that's our 12th of a total of 14, so only 2 more to get. Of course, now we can't actually... Wow, we could leave the room by the way we came in and go a long way back, but we can actually connect back to somewhere cooler and get another thing. So if we grab into this side and drop a bomb... Then the gob of that statue opens. As you can see, that's just a kind of like morph ball thing through it. Because it's not a bomb slot, it's just a kind of morph ball tunnel. Why is that's really weird. I can't tell if that's the game or my nunchuck that's kind of not pressing forwards properly. Oh, this is a fun little thing that I think it's called the piston chamber or the piston tunnel. I could cut this, but I'm not going to because this leads somewhere we've been before, but not a part of it that we've been to before. If you follow me, oh. I was hoping to get there just before this one. Oh, no, that suddenly went down really quickly and kind of gave me a bit of a scare. Anyway, hopping out of there. Do this very slowly to make sure you don't fall off, because we're back in the main plaza. But we're up here. And now we have the grapple beam. We can swing over here and grab a missile expansion. What the? There we go. Grab a missile expansion. You can only get to that one if you've kind of gone through that piston chamber and stuff, and because you can't really get to that grapple beam from any other location. Anyway, we're now going to go back to the place where we've got the Wave Buster combo, the Tower of Light. Now this one, like the kind of one in the Watery Hall, we're not going up there, we're actually going down, and all this requires is the gravity suits. Because you can come through here, and then again, there's another jump you can't make without the gravity suits. But this actually takes us to an entirely new room. If we shoot through there... Hey! Chozo artifact required. This is the artifact of the Life Giver, the 5th of 12, and it is actually our 5th, but we haven't got them in order. I think we've got 1, 2, 4, 5, and 11. But hey, I don't even know what the order you're supposed to do them in, what the order that they actually say they're in actually signifies. But anyway, now we're going to travel a long way back to Tallon Overworld and the Root Cave. Now, here we could basically, I think you could just about make it over to where that Gema is at the moment earlier, but it required some slightly trick jumping. With the grapple beam, much easier. You can actually see, if you look on the map, there's a door at the top of the room we actually haven't got the ability to open yet. These bloody Gemas, they can only be destroyed by missiles, if you remember, all the way back to, I believe, the 2nd episode when we actually scanned them. Blood flowers are much less annoying, now we can just smash them like that. But, you kind of get up here and you think, this appears to be the end. How do we proceed up the room? Look at that. More invisible platforms up the side. And yes, these are 100% invisible. But as like in last episode... Shit. Oh, shit. Where the fuck am I? Oh, no, I'm not that far down. I'm going to try and actually do this leap of faith style, because I can see where that platform is from where the water's landing. I want to see if you can actually... How feasible it would be to do it in that way. I actually can't see where the next one's going to be, though. I think it's... Yeah, it is straight over there. Oh, that one's definitely not got any water landing on it. The rain's passing straight. Oh, no, it is just about hitting it. Either way, ignore my crap. And because then we can head up here. And once we're around here, I believe, yep, there's another invisible platform over here. Ah! There we go. And you should just be able to... I was about to say you should just be able to hear the power-up sound, because I thought that one was behind like a wall, like Bendizim or something like that, but it's not. Anyway, we're going to now head all the way down to the bottom of this chamber. That was fun, wasn't it? And I do this every time I come by here. There's beetles everywhere, and it's so much fun to just blend them with the Wave Buster. Completely unnecessary, but hilarious. Anyway, we're now going to head down into Magmoor Caverns, which is what's down here, and through to the Geothermal Core. Now in here, weirdly enough, the puddle spores that were here last time have now vanished, but I believe they're still in other places in the game, so they're not gone forever, don't worry. And now, this is a cool puzzle, I think, that I quite enjoy, but it's kind of difficult to see even where it starts, because you begin by kind of heading up here. As you can see, this is a massive room, so we start over here and grapple! No, we don't. Let's try that again. Grapple. Sometimes the grapple beam's a bit odd because you don't have to just be looking at it, you have to actually be pointing at it with the pointer. So that can be slightly annoying. But anyway, we start here with this thing. Contrary to what you might think, this is not a bomb slot. It's a spinner, and if we spin it, kind of like raises that platform up. And now you will hear the kind of puzzle theme has started. You hear this a number of points in the game, and I don't think I've ever pointed out this kind of that you hear whenever there's a kind of puzzly section going on. Now, having raised this one earlier, we can jump over to that. And now we can kind of jump up here. There's a spider rail, but we don't actually want to use it at the moment because we want to bring this one up. Now, if we use the spider rail, we can hop up onto the platform that we were just underneath. And then if we hop over onto the top of this one, we can drop a bomb. And that's the puzzle complete. Ha! No, it's not. Remember earlier on this episode when I talked about the most annoying spider ball part of the damn game? Yeah, there's an... apparently the ceiling can raise up in this entire damn room and open the way to this puzzle. This will test your spider ball skills to the absolute maximum. Your ability to use bombs while on them, your ability to start and stop spidering, and just your nerve generally. So this is going to be fun. They actually changed the spider ball in later games to... because in this one you have to, like, drop a bomb to jump from rail to rail. And, like, they kept that in later games. So what they also added... oh, this is kind of cool. You get a bit more kind of free movement over here, because you can obviously move around this entire area freely, and you can just ignore the bloody things. Yeah, later on they added the ability... oh! I'm not actually going to say anything for now, because I need to really focus on this bit. This bit's much easier. Basically, just hold Z, and at the last moment, flick the Wii remotes, and you'll just make it. That one's actually changed from the original version a bit, because you had to, because you can't do the flick Wii remote thing. You have to drop bombs to jump on the original versions, and that's not an option. So that was slightly different. Can't remember how though. But yeah, in later games, they added the ability to not only just like briefly detach from the rails using a bomb, but if you use the boost ball, then you could actually properly like launch yourself off the rails, like towards, in this case it would be nearly towards the camera, and that had some really cool puzzles. Also in this bit, you can totally move on the bit that's not made of spider rails. Not sure why that is, but you can. Generally, if you stay at the top and kind of hold on to Z, then you're kind of generally alright. Even if you get hit by a puffer thing, you'll kind of fall off. Here it wants us to transfer down, but it's actually easier to transfer up. Then we have to do this and then just transfer up again. Just kind of minimizes the amount of things we can fuck up on. This is a much longer one, but again, if we just let go and hold on to Z straight away, we'll be holding Z when we hit the rail underneath. This one isn't too hard. It's just really long. So obviously if I fuck up, I've got to do this entire thing again from the start. And there's one bit at the end that's just designed to trick you. This one's slightly more annoying, so let's hope. There we go. Yeah, there's one bit at the end that tricks you and can completely fuck you over. But I think we've just about made it. Yeah, here we go. So, this underneath us is Bendesium. If you were to drop off, you would bounce off the Bendesium and fall down and have to do the whole thing again. Use the power bomb from the rail. It makes life so much easier. Come through here, and we have a really cool item. So this is the Plasma Beam, a final beam weapon. We've got fire, we've got ice, we've got whatever the hell power is, just kind of power, I suppose. So we've got, yeah, fire, ice, and lightning, kind of three elements. Makes sense. And also it's quite cool, as you notice. I pointed this out before, but ice beam, top of the arm cannon expands, wave beam, sides expands, and so, therefore, plasma beam, forwards expands. So plasma beam can open red doors, that's parts of its thing, and then yeah, it fires these blasts, which can fire relatively fast, at least compared to both the wave and ice beam, not quite as fast as the power beam, but they're stupidly powerful, fire-based damage, and the charge shot from it is also extremely powerful. It's got a lot of other kind of abilities as well, one of which is, of course, the ability to melt ice and cold things. That's extremely useful in Phendrana Drifts, which is where we're heading next. So we're actually going to head back to the Quarantine Chamber, the place where we fought Thardus. So, back here at kind of Thardus' lair, a few things have changed. Number one, there's a damn Sheegoth here now. But this gives us a good chance to test out the plasma beam, because firstly, Sheegoths are weak to fire, so they can take a lot. Like, you can just shoot the plasma beam and it just damages them normally, whereas other beams bounce off them. Number two, that's it dead. The plasma beam is stupidly powerful. As in like a normal shot from the power beam, I believe does roughly the same amount of damage as a missile. A charge shot is even more effective, and when you've got like a type advantage like there, really useful. Anyway, as you can see, there are these grapple points that there weren't here before, and we can head up to here and to this tiny little kind of like hidden chamber off the side of it, which contains, you guessed it, a missile expansion. Isn't it always a missile expansion? Anyway, now let's head to the Ice Ruins West. Now over here, there's a Sheegoth in this room as well, I think I pointed out before. But if we come kind of down, I believe it's down here? I get really disoriented in these Ice Ruins places, because they're actually quite straightforward, theoretically, to navigate around. But I can hear the Sheegoth waking up. Hello. But they die nice and quickly. Like, you don't have to even be remotely tactical. Against most enemies, actually, now we've got the plasma beam. But I've got this. Oh, I can also see the Sheegoth's walking bounces you up and down. It can be slightly annoying when you're trying to time precision jumps. I'm just trying to listen for the power-up sound now, because I know I'm vaguely near it. But where is it? Aha! There's ice underneath us here. Shot from the plasma beam and it melts. And we get a power bomb expansion, our second one now. So now we have to worry a lot less about power bombs, because now we can hold up 6 of them, which is pretty cool. Anyway, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that can be done around Phendrana Drifts with this thing now. Firstly, look at these baby little Sheegoths. One hit. Disintegrates. One charge shot to the back, and they're just gone. The plasma, unless enemies like are fiery enemies that have a resistance to it, the plasma beam is extremely effective against almost every enemy, which is bloody useful, because it means when you're kind of doing a lot of backtracking, enemies aren't really a threat anymore, which is great. But yeah, a lot of what we do with this thing, with the plasma beam in Phendrana Drifts, involves melting ice. And there's one particular memorable bit of that, at least for me, based on a story I told when I was last here. I can't see, there we go. So, we've come here, I was going to cut, but we've just walked here. So yes, we've come here to the Chozo Ice Temple, which is now strangely free of ice parasites. Because they used to be crawling around on these platforms, and they're gone. So if you didn't scan them, tough luck. They were replaced with Bomboos just after we got the Wave Beam as a way of showing, I guess, that the Wave Beam could hurt Bomboos. It's kind of like it's the showing, not telling thing. Obviously, if you scan them, you will be told electrical stuff can harm them, but also the game spawns a lot of them once you get the Wave Beam, so it kind of forces you to come across them quite quickly, which is cool. But yeah, this statue, whose hands seem to be frozen in place, that I thought must be somehow used to open that door, but no. Hit it with a plasma beam. And he wants his kind of offering, much like the kind of one in Chozo Ruins. First time I did this, I really thought it was going to somehow like melt that bowl as well, and like the water in it would do something, but no. But anyway, it opens a thing, and gets us another artifact. This is the Artifact of the Sun. Ironically, in the kind of cold, dark place. So that's nearly half the artifact now, is it? It's either 5 or 6, I can't quite remember. Anyway, let's now head to the Ice Ruins East. I always get those two confused. Actually, before going to the Ice Ruins East, if we come down into, we're in kind of the Phendrana Shorelines area, if we come behind here, I forgot about this one. Missile expansion, just behind a chunk of ice, again. There's a lot of these around Phendrana, these just kind of like, there is some ice, you can melt the ice, and get a missile expansion. There's tons of those. Oh, I just love how quickly this thing can just mince through a... Okay, it's not so good on its singular shots, but the charge shot of the plasma beam, that can kill these bloody things, which we were told that kind of energy weapons bounce off and you have to missile. Most things in Phendrana Drifts are hilariously weak to the plasma beam, it's great. Now, like in the other ice ruins, there's also firstly a Sheegoth here, but I'm going to ignore it, because I actually do know where I'm going this time. If we come around the back here, there's ice! Smash through it. Missile expansion. Who'd have thought it? Anyway, we're going to go on a hell of a journey here. We're going to go all the way through the kind of like Space Pirate Labs area to the control tower, the kind of pinnacle of the Space Pirate Labs. Right, so now we're up here at the kind of control tower, and we've got flying pirates. Flying pirates are killed not only effectively, but also hilariously by the plasma beam. A charge shot of it will kill them in one, but also, if you watch this fucker, it sends them absolutely flying, usually off the edge of maps and stuff. I guess it's kind of what's supposed to be happening plot-wise is putting their kind of thruster back into overheats, and they just go flying while melting. It's kind of brutal, but also vaguely hilarious. Now, if we come up here... Nope. These two towers look extremely similar, and I never remember quite which one's which. Oh my god, that was a big explosion. Yeah, it's through here. So there's this little bit... We can't actually break these crates, weirdly enough, even with, I believe, the most powerful weapon we have, which is a super missile. Let's find out, though. Nope, can't. But yes, if we break... Okay, there's supposed to be some ice there, but... there we go, now I can break it, apparently. Either way, you see those kind of, like, things at the bottom, the kind of 6 things that look like a kind of cylinders of an engine? Shoot a missile at them. And as you can see, that kind of smashes through some shit and leads to a slightly weird thing. Like, it just doesn't quite ever make sense to me. It is a Chozo artifact. But the thing is, the hint for this artifact is, like, near kind of, like, there's a tower at the edge of Phendrana's research labs and stuff like that. And it's like, how would the Chozo who are making these inscriptions know the space pirates are there? That's a long time in the future. And that kind of fits with some of these slight irregularities in this game, plot-wise, especially involving the interactions between the space pirates and the Chozo. That's something, basically, I'll go into it in more detail as we actually come across that stuff more later in the game, probably actually in a kind of post-game thing, but essentially, the plot between the Japanese release, the North American release, the PAL release, and then the Trilogy re-release, the plot of what's the background involving space pirates and Chozo was rewritten a number of times to the point where the pirate data and Chozo lore were actually, in some cases, quite significantly changed. So that kind of changed a lot of the feel of the game, and it's something I'll go through when we kind of got the complete story. But for now, we're going to kind of keep heading through the labs, as you can see, and by the kind of eventual goal is the Frost Cave at Phendrana's Edge. Now through here, if you remember, we scanned a while back the glider that has a magnetic underside attuned to the frequency of the grapple beam, and it told us about the sport of glider riding, which involves that. So this is our first chance to try out glider riding. Or not, or I can completely fuck up the thing. That's entirely possible too. There we go. As I've said before, grapple beaming is less than precise on this. But yeah, the kind of glider continues to... or doesn't continue to fly around, appears to be frozen in place. That's not supposed to happen. There you go. Or maybe it freezes once you actually lock onto it. Let's see. I thought it kept moving. Oh well. It shouldn't matter. Let's see if I can just make this jump. I don't think I can! Yes! Just onto the edge. Right, but you come up here, and it doesn't seem there's anything up here. You've been lied to. Oh no, wait. This is the only vantage point in the entire room where you can see right to the top here. And be able to fire a missile at that stalactite. It's got a very Zelda feel to this what happens now. When I first came here, I was convinced you had to use the plasma beam somehow to melt through this ice. But you don't. You have to use impact rather than heat to smash through it. And indeed, you get to... eventually, I can't really see under here. But yes, Missile expansion, bring us up to 210, which is terrifying. Of the 255, I think you can obtain, which is awesome. I can fire the Wave Buster for like 20 seconds solidly there, which makes me immensely happy. And that's actually done for this episode. I have no idea how long it's been. I expect 25 minutes. I fear maybe as much as 30 minutes. But hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Next episode will be a similar structure to this of gathering stuff, and then we've just about got what, basically we've got what we need. The plasma beam is what we really need to get further into the phase on mines, but I'm just gathering other stuff now so that the plot can go relatively smoothly once we finish up in the phase on mines, because then stuff gets interesting and I don't want to have to put breaks in that. So thanks very much for watching. I've been the Doctor of the Infamous Gentleman, and this has been Metroid Prime. Thank you very much, and good day.